Hi, I'm Julie from Practical Primitive, and today I'm going to show you a way to string your bow drill bow where you don't have to know any knots. Now there's a couple of reasons why I really like this method of stringing the bow. First is, obviously, you don't have to know any knots. Second, it's extremely easy to adjust as your spindle changes. And third, it's also very easy to use natural cordage with this method. A lot of times natural cordage doesn't want to tie in a knot. It's just not good for that. With this method, you don't need to do any knots, so it's really easy to use with natural cordage. So here is a stick that I cut off of an autumn olive tree. Now this is as needed. It's just about the length of my arm, and it's just a little bit bigger around than my thumb. I don't want my stick to be too big around because I don't want it to be too heavy. It has to be nice and light and easy for me to keep my stick parallel to the ground as I'm bowing. This one is probably just about the diameter, a little bit smaller than the diameter of my spindle. This is the size that I like. This is a green branch, which means that it's not going to snap on me if I put a little bit of extra tension on my string as well. So let's get started. So I have here my stick that I'm going to turn into my bow. I have a knife and I have my baton. So all I need to do is take my knife, and I'm going to carefully place it in the center of the stick at either end. It doesn't matter which end you start. Now I'm going to take the baton and go down just about a little over an inch. And pull that out. And do the same thing at the other end. I want the groove in my stick to be going the same direction. So it's this way, and it's going to once again be this way. I'm just going to double check, make sure that the split is going the same direction. Again, I place my blade halfway at the center point in the stick. There we go. Now, in order for me to make it a little easier to get the string down into the split, I'm actually going to create just a little bit of a wedge there. So again, keeping my hands out of the way, I'm just going to, just a little bit offset from my stick, I'm just going to cut in a bit of an angle. And this is going to allow me to be able to better place my string in the notch. Okay, so now I have my groove in both ends and we're ready to string our bow. So here's my string, and I'm just using some simple nylon cordage for this one. And now I'm going to take it and I'm going to string the bow. All I need to do is place the string on top of the notch and ease it down in. And it's down in there just a little less than an inch, but that's all I need. And I've got this tail on here, which is a little bit more of a tail than I need. So I'm going to pull that back through. So we just have a little tail at the end. So now that I've got the tail, just a little tail coming out the end, I'm going to wrap this around a full time and another half so that my string and my tail are facing the same direction. I've made this wrap, you can see, underneath the tail because we don't want the string to cause our bow to split any further down. So we're keeping the wrap underneath the rope. Now I'm going to bring it back through the split. All right. Now I come down to the other end and I do the same thing, leaving a little bit of slack for my spindle. I'm going to, once again, Going to once again just ease that down into the groove. And I'm going to take this tail this time and I'm going to wrap it around underneath, again, a full time and a half. Bring it back underneath my rope and pull it back through the opposite way. So both tails are facing the same direction. So any of this extra string here, all I'd need to do is just wrap it around. Now we're good to go. Now I can just take my spindle and check. Oh no, way too loose, right? Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to adjust this. All I have to do, unwrap these, pull this through a little bit further, and re-wrap. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if I was using natural cordage, you can see this is done exactly the same way. I have here one that is wrapped with some hickory bark. This was all soaked and pliable when we first wrapped this up. But if I open this up a little bit, you can see that this is done exactly the same way. I have the groove. The hickory bark is just down through the groove. It's wrapped around a couple of times. Oops. Come on. There we go. And it goes back down through. Just like that. You don't need to tie any knots, and as you saw, it's super easy to adjust. So, let's give our new bow a try.